Alright, so now it's the export phase. So this is we call it the post-processing phase also. We need to get all these textures out to another application like Photoshop, kind of play around with the color a little bit, and then get this out to a game-friendly type of asset. Alright, so to do that, let's say the diffuse area here, we got hand and paint layer. I like these. Okay, so what I can do is right click and it says merge visible. Alright, now if I merge these visible, I will no longer have the ability to play around with this thing at all. And I don't know if I want to do that just yet. So what I would highly suggest is if you save your scene as something, like I have 11 here, then you feel no pressure about merging stuff. Okay? So I'll merge these visible. And now you can see I can turn those up and down. Cool. The OCC one, I want a separate map altogether, and I'm going to right click and export that one. So export channel to PSD. Now I like using a temp directory for this part of the phase because I want TGAs in the long run. So this is my skull. Color map. And there we go. Now because I merged the two together, I have this option. I can now get rid of this. I have to unlock it and get rid of it. And this one, I can unlock it and get rid of it. And now I have my color and I have my OCC. The OCC I'm going to put on the top and I'm going to turn it to multiply. Okay. I'm also going to double it like that. So what happens is I can use the OCC, and I can do this maybe a couple times, to basically shade in the areas without painting. So there we go. Now if I went to transfer this back, I could use it on flat shading and all the detail would be there. That's pretty cool. Okay, now what I want to do is hit Control E. And I'll knock the opacity down just a little bit. You gotta wonder, you know, like if this skull was in a well-lit area, would there be that much? Okay, so just think of your environment when you're saving this stuff. Your normal map will make this happen anyway. Alright, so there's my color map. I like that. I'm going to save it as, and this is the one I want to keep forever and always. So I'll go into my computer, and this is what I'm talking about. Dropbox doesn't show up in the nice fancy area, and I have to go tiling out to the middle of nowhere to get it. So there's skull, and notice there's all kinds of crazy in here. This is my production folder. Okay, so this is going to be a TGA because eventually I want to get this over to maybe the UDK. And I want 24-bit pixel, especially for my color map. Alright, so that's how you process your color map. Let's go back to Mudbox, hit close. What about specularity? Well, specularity here, this last layer is junk. I can delete it. And this is just export channel as merged. Now I want to do that in Photoshop though, so I like having the option. export channel to PSD. So this is my spec. There we go. Reason I like to do this here is because I can turn stuff down if I wanted to. Okay, get rid of all this junk that it gives me. Alright, now that it's been extracted fully, we're going to be looking at the outcome of it. So I got my normal map and my skull OCC TIFF. If you look at it, a little bit less. Check this box. There we go, and check it back. You can see all the detail, and the ambient occlusion kind of just strengthens that detail with the black. Okay, so there's my spec map. Very nice. And the reason I want that to be a little less because I don't want to look at the folder that this exported into. Save as. If we go to Dropbox, TGA, work in progress. Again, this is my production. Here's my normal map and C drive, OCC map. Users, good. Admin. Alright, so the next thing I want to do in the next video is go through the conversion and the addition of additional things like, let's say, surface noise for this. How do we dictate that surface
no alpha
noise?
Channels?
How do we add another normal map just in case you need it? Okay. In most cases,
last
this
but not least,
pretty
how do we
good. I like
the
this.
normal map?
So for the normal map, I shut everything off. I want to plan for the future. I want to see and show you how to do that.
In the normal
I think it's
map.
very important. So we're going to go a
in
little
this
bit
case,
nuts and
is
say,
it a
hey,
bit noisy?
what if the skull was made out of, let's say, a rust
no, I like
or
it.
a steel? Okay.
Keep it.
What happens then?
So you can see this would get
let's
too
go on
noisy.
to the next video where we really like that process. And what about this? So I could turn this one off and look at details gone. Okay, so let's get this out. And I want to keep this one all the way up. Alright, I'll export this to PSC because I want to show you how to combine it in Photoshop too. Click on this one then. Yeah, that's what it is. And I'll go NM for normal map. Okay, so let's look around this map. Let's get this out of here, and let's get this out of here. This one I actually have to keep, to be honest with you, so I'm going to keep it. I'll show you why here in a second. I saw some issues with shading, and it was in this area. See it? And it's on this layer. So this gives me a little bit of an option to show you how to kind of repair some of this stuff. This does happen from time to time. It happens when there's maybe some problems with the UV. This is how I solve it. So just use the clone stamp. And you can use like a new layer and then use all layers. This way you can put it on a layer, and if you mess up, you can always fix it. So this is a pretty complicated area. If you look at the other side here compared to this side, how much of a difference that really is. What if I did this? And then go transform, flip horizontal. Now you'll notice here the color range. See where it's dark blue? Okay. Well, those colors are very important. And what I want to do is keep that dark blue. So that area like that works out quite well. And again, I only want to repair the area that it needs to be repaired, not all this extra stuff. To see what you're doing, you can just lower the opacity down. And then put your opacity back up. And then I want to start using these colors where they need to go. But at least I know where they're going now. Okay, clone stamp tool. So these are the colors, but now I have a coloring book. Like that. Turn down the opacity just a little bit. You can see right where all these colors are going. So I'm missing this pink stuff right here. And I'll just blur that back just a little bit. Okay, so that should be better than what it had before, at least in that area. Might not be perfect, but hey. So where in the pipeline did that occur? Well, if you go back and look at maybe the UVs in that area, you'll find out. So the UVs look really well. So we'd have to look at it a little bit closer, but I'm going to guess that there's probably a tear in the UVs in this area, like one of these edges are tore. And that's probably where it's getting that. That's how you repair it anyway. That's how I repair it. And trust me when I say it's going to have some flaws because of that blue right there in that area, but we'll live with it. Okay. Now, let's go and view this. So I want to take this one. How do we put these two together? Well, not opacity, it's actually overlay. Okay, overlay is a way to merge these together. So we can just overlay them all. This one wouldn't because it's an actual cover up. Okay, so this is a Control E to merge these down. And this one goes on overlay. Another thing you need to do if it's a normal map is double click on it and make sure you don't use blue. Okay, no blue. So the mode here is 16-bit. I can't use a 16-bit on a TGA, and this is how you convert it the right way. If you try to convert it just from 16 to 8-bit, it'll change color a little bit, and you don't want that. You want to keep the color. So I always do this. Edit, copy merge, file, new. I choose 8-bit, OK, and edit paste. Alright, so let's save as, and we're going to save this as TGA. Now to see if this looks good, what we can do is preview it on the mesh. So in the next video, I'll show you how to preview all these great maps on the mesh in Maya. Alright, so see you there.